Good evening, good evening, good evening. So good morning, so good afternoon, so maybe I'll be sharing when you would watch this video. Yeah, Mami Chia would not say Amoah Kwaba, and from the inside Kotoko here on YouTube. Now, the much anticipated game has come to an end. Krobia Kumasia Sante Kotoko, Akwaji Toyota Cup, no, and South Africa had the now after the game said they are now Kaizer Chiefs supporters, every stadium after the penalty shootout. We will say yes. Let's remind ourselves that last year they lost the same cup to Younger FC. And say Akwakwa said 2 consecutive times Omabo with an outside team lose cup Now Akwakwa and some baby, but some of us had the opportunity to watch the game. We are looking at some key points we noted down. And you may be a course for game one. And they are born with them extra to we want to discuss. There also who are in the game, for to a comment section. As I'm sure in our previous, in our subsequent videos, we'll put all those discussions together. Now, for Yasha say, you be a frame, said the Kotoko company for a share channel way in it. You show so much me and your mother community. The who ye in the game, 90 minutes plus penalties. Share with us in the comment section. Now, after ye to me, I'm a penny phone so to me at the Jijuma as a fabulous supporter. Ma Kotoko number ehiao ye kafa boot sensors. And what's and then the Yabonidium Eddie Ama. We did them to George Addison and there. You born 7 soir. We'll be watching some of the videos game no more before the game, during the game, after the game, and the fans' reaction in also. And na yehu Kotoko contingent South Africa near Japan. And Nigerian Yasam good talk. Now we shall coach Karim ZITO. In about 2 months in ye. Well, we need the FA Cup and we need the President Cup against Heart of Folk. The FA Cup was against Golden Cakes. And I walk away. We need the the Toyota Cup against Kaizer Chiefs. Martin Ekosuna after the game will be the to Facebook. I say you won the bus says when you're 27 years. Who say Kotoko Akwaji Cup wa monane tiabada. I'm sure some of us will also accept that comment. Now, so some key point our game no more and yede ebro kakrabi petim na fe yetumi ehude no so etumi ekọ. So first of all, ma menhwe Kotoko game no in total. Now Kotoko about 4-back system with Lord Amoah, Omobo Abrante Ansu, and then Samba O'Neill, our 4 and 5. Number Patrick Esedu, our the left side of the defense. And Finfrino, Omobo the triangle midfield. And see almost say we call triangle said this now just before the defense, na Abrante and Hilary Adabo Lord or no Edda the right side of the midfield, a central midfield, and after watch the left side and so you set on also Emiamujina what in Indiana and Yasam Kutuantino said the tactical or said the double pivot, and Abrante and so it to me a boy and now Omudiagro and coach Karim ZITO a Pia Abrante manual entry. They call him into Emmanuel Ejina, the two, DM in the person of Kojoset and Hilary Adabo, or Mumfin Hormo, and I just all Nujina and him, and also a year Jumano, and they call the various and the 2 wings are or more at the edge. So who say Abranti and the and Kwampoku and a SP heady attack, and Abrante Peter Amidu Aqua started from the left side of the wings, and Abrante Amoah Albert also started from the right side of the wings, and also mu epia edibem. Now Obekasa simply the 4-3-3 formation, but the middle of the park, was that diamond or mo etwana kama, and I said the triangular midfield, ama bibian so kama pa, and so it me Adabo. You who say Asante Kotoko elusu ball na. We saw all the players so we na ball much. In the first half, it was to defend tactically, and then you move with swift passes. 1, 2, 3 passes now. We bought 1, 2, 3. Not just a word through the opponent in any more. But and no, as some kakra because the passes from the midfield to attack, wasn't that swift enough. Now this is what we saw, and this is what I saw from the game. In the comment section, my na yemfa and and so that swift pass from the defense to the midfield to attack, 1, 2, 3. They just say, wait, a small ball, equal wings one, what be a game now you're too wide. But the opponent team, defense, a be a game, Emma, and they say, what to me, a game here, I should say, to me, a go, it to me, Eba. But always the midfield were losing the final balls to the attackers. And say, ama sa tactical formation, ye who the effect well from the gamer, and also it to me Eba. So, my main can say in the first 12 minutes, now Kotoko and warming up well into the game. And say 12 to 15 minutes, when I was a Kotoko and make it encouraging. Yes, Obiba can say Kotoko and to me answer and get passes by 3, 4, 5 together, especially in the second half. But look, the game was more physical than tactical. I must be very frank with you. And I am there because Kotoko going into Africa, they need such games. They need games are yet more physical. They need games that are yet tactical. And Ebebwa, a team oko nechi oko nanim oko beni nano. It will give the team, an overview of what the coach and the team stands for, and they almost say almost so to me at the age. So that is that. Now there's another thing, and also so now I don't know has to do with Peter Amidu Aqua. Me per se me kind of want some kakra. Now coach, not because he wasn't performing well, but we saw in the first half say Peter. Now he was doing well at the flanks, but then who Peter now will take it on. Our year be against Hearts of Folk. It to me, it winnie gave me the own goal. No, couldn't do done pinball at the shame. No, Peter wasn't doing that. So I believe say the defense of Kaizer Chiefs did better at that side of the field, and the Peter to me the round so Peter Junaso 1, 2, 3 and so Pierre ball at the bench, and that is another observation I made from the game, and also yet to me at the one some at the man Yahudi and also to me of course. Now I've talked about how physical the game was, all right, and see but my main board defense now, so I think it's one key observation. May remember Highlishts Camara so. But the defense of Asante Kotoko, especially in the middle of the defense, Samba O'Neill, Henry, Kwame Ansu, Charlie, these guys did so well. Were able to hold, what was that? Akwana Ifan Silva now, jersey number 77. Wow, to me, Akwanya share board from Portugal. And Omu was striker beer. The guy is very good. But against Asante Kotoko, I was asking myself, say, Flavio, is it because of Kotoko defense? Are you too good? And as a Branton, and he is a good player. But Samba, Ansu, Charlie, Kotoko defense, dear. I must be very frank with you. The defense of Asante Kotoko is always improving. Now, competition was because Ansu is one player and then make clearance be was so good. On the Ansu eba Kotoko no duru baby onye bimbo, but Ansu tenase. Wankasa onye kasa bebre, onye me free team ni mu, onye me ko, onye ne chance a oba ye na to ampa ho ne ade na support the good so, but I believe say o share ne ho den eye ne ho adwuma say obeye adwuma no. Defense there masa will be very difficult. Obi a ubenya wo chance a one money ye na asamaba. Because Zakaria Fuseni was on the bench. Sefa was there. Ablo Ankobi Wepra on also one fantastic defender. The Kotoko central defense no emuemia. Osha Latras, Lord Amoah Patrick Kesedu, and they the new players Ababetomuno. Omonso eye juma ye pa. And so etumi edeboa. Ama bibi anso etumi akonka. Now midfield of Asante Kotoko in the person of yes, Mombaji na. Midfield of Asante Kotoko. Yes, the midfield of Asante Kotoko in the person of Abranti and Jenny Hilary Adabo and Kwajoset. They are new players. Kwajoset ebo on the first game against Heart of Folk our present cup and Adabo in the first competitive game. But let me talk about Adabo. He did well. Adabo said that now o pushy ball no. Or yes surgeon now o move ball now. Bibia ekon kan kama. And I face Adabo with partnering with Abrante Emmanuel Entry and Abrante Kujoset no. Me who said it was working especially in the first half. And no e breaki Flavio no and ye nguvu duma esen komudi ball ni eye adwuma won finfin horom no. And so I can confidently say Adabo is the midfielder that Kotoko need. He will do the work for defensive midfield area of the game no. Omonso edebe ye adwuma pa na ehu de no so etumi ekoso. Now enimu ho no na me hu say yamyano no kranim emrante no eye adwuma no wanim ho. But Albert Amoah is one classic player. Kotoko fu enya no pa. Menka se Kotoko fu enya no. Albert Amoah. Odne to ntenten wo a wo bogum. Odne to anim won so a wo ya de. For the first time so kwampoku abanachi ebe defender was this free kicker kwampoku ne pinball ne defiri hormo. So was all attacking, all defending. Omu nyina no eye adwuma kama. And so etumi e de boya Kotoko and so etumi age cap no e de akọ wono mo anim. Now Mamira Highlishts Camara so. When who comment bebre. When who comment bebre e wa Highlishts Muhammad Camara. You see ninsam bae. Highlishts nankasa mbe ya no. Na me ebeye me de class wo ya no. Wo ya no e wo field no so. If you have a cancer, some na ye de ato Highlishts no say no kore, say nya no kore no, improve ne ho, improve obia wrong. Na wonye adwuma no e wo field no so. Say nyame amfam mfasamba na say okodapo mu no wo ye adwuma na and they ekwenwe ne se maybe I boss short be watch no na amfa ye na fa ne nsase na akoshepo mama sa. Ka Highlishts no be du kutoka no na che say and your man being the amount of why you some good talk, but he kept his composure. When ye Jumano kama, and so I will pull no more. And making sure say, and they omit to me a year Jumano. In the 84th minute, yes, Kaizer in your penalty, but what ye Jumano. Obi say Highlishts in a penalties by no complaining, but whoosh, Samba O'Neill, the penalty our boy, ya. Goalkeeper from my Kaizer Chiefs epio dinna tu ni nyina esi animu se kiw enya sanka na nsan tumi nka ball no enti goalkeeper no ekọ referees no so ekọ referees no ka jan say papa say dem wo ya de no mo nza Highlishts ye pie so elsewhere aka maybe a retaking or something, but enti remember say nyame adom he kept his composure, making 4 penalty saves. 4 out of 6 and 10 4 na Camara uma for bonabaso obi asaba hoka de to Facebook na me hwe bia na ye ready bia o se masa ade na mo de to so se wakwa me kwa me to bia bro say ya na be body agum no wada po mu dia and e koso a but no ye tunufo onye adwuma no onkoso a no wonye ne say ya ubenya game a pressure beba also more than the unya ye. Me I feel say he wasn't tested enough in the game. Penalties, was save. I salute him for that. But within the 90 minutes, Camara wasn't tested enough in the game. And also, I want some. I don't know. Now, my main for way and Fantuja, Kotoko team Nankasano still needs some time to gel. Because we should midfield now, the engine of the game now. Hilary Adabo and then Kaizer said, they need time to gel, to have that flair from the defense to the midfield. I'm also be to me release ball. And see, Ebanesana, the third passes are in faulty, and then we saw some of them. And we sure as a coach, Kama, and so to me, Eddie Amoah. In all, it was a good game, but let me say this. Obia was share ball ni bibia who's how Kaizer Chiefs for a supporter. I have said it. So last year they lost the cup. This year, even when at the time not Kotoko, mistakes, they were shouting, they were clapping, they were supporting, they were making the noise. As Sante Kotoko, especially, Kotoko. They were making the noise. They were taunting. They were shouting. And I was like, yes. I think what's also one thing I say as supporters, you picky BB a different. And yet, for the non-qua and they observe we observed also how they supported their team till 90 minutes. Penalty in the bar, and we lose where we. And then the Obiabe sorry, I can be Janabe Muchimpa, Bakotoko de actually D. Remo Marante Nabaso. How they contain the pressure of Chabalala. Number 7, Obemununa and Yasam Guto, Udiagorankasa. And so in the second half, the coach of Kaizer Chiefs changes. Coach ZITO and so changes. But I think Coach ZITO changes, taking Emmanuel Entry out because of injury for Babaya Yarona. It wasn't really the first half, It wasn't an improvement from the first half. And see. Second half, it was more of Kaizer Chiefs. But the defense, the midfielders were able to contain the pressure of the South African team, Kaizer Chiefs. Almost so a year, Jumano. Bibia did them and see, make us say, you better was one after a year, Jumano. And so to me, Eddie Amamo. Now, when they are not so to me, of course, so higher inside Kotoko here on YouTube. Medium see Jojo Addison. Kakra. A key point in the game, and I must be very frank with you. It wasn't a bad game, especially in the first half. Kotoko played well. Kaizer Chiefs also played well behind their supporters. Say almost home jersey in the first half, and almost away jersey. It was a way I'm going to launch or more jerseys. And see, it's been a good day. It's been a good game as well. And then I be a that luma day na be bomuna. Amani paye slow kakra, but the legend is gone. But Krobia and so a year juma. And see nyami atomwa echina Kotoko be piemu Ghana. Na de wo bi ansoro ye de beto so ediamo. Let's hear from you in the comment section. Say de wo wo game no mu bi ansoro wo de atudwa and so etumi ediama ya. Nyami nka ye ho na wo nhya yen. Bye bye.